What is up, everybody? It's the new Sam coming at you again with a Transformers video review. I want to take it back today, way back, and check something out that's a little old school. The one figure that no Transformers collection should be without, no matter what series you collect. Generation 1 Optimus Prime. Okay, so technically this is the Encore Convoy reissue. Convoy, for those that aren't informed, being Japan's old name for Prime before they switched with more recent lines to just using Optimus Prime, like we have been for nearly 30 years. Although if MP10 is any indication, G1 Prime is still Convoy over there. For all intents and purposes, however, this is classically styled G1 Optimus Prime. There have been some changes and additions to the figure over the course of the various reissues, but the Encore takes it back to the basics to deliver that G1 Prime feeling all over again. Background-wise, Optimus here is a carryover from the Diaclone line from Japan, where he was dubbed Battle Convoy, and he was a piloted mecha. If the commercial for the toy was anything to go on, there were also a lot of Battle Convoys running around. Eventually Hasbro stepped in and scooped up Battle Convoy along with some more transforming robot toys from Diaclone and other lines, mixing and matching series to create two factions to fight for our amusement. Thus the Transformers were born, and we were given a battle convoy of our very own, as Optimus Prime. Onto the toy itself. Here's Prime in his vehicle mode, hauling his trailer, something that has been sadly absent from many of the more recent Optimus toys. To me, the trailer just completes the look of Prime. Without it, he's kinda less impressive. Speaking of which, here's the cab on its own. The detailing on it is fairly nice, and quite intricate, attempting to capture as much detail from an actual truck as it can. Rivets dot nearly every panel. The windows are cast in a clear plastic. The metallic chromed pieces look impressive, even by today's standards. And the interior even has some detail. The front, which is die-cast metal by the way, can open to reveal the interior, where two Diaclone drivers would go, if this were the Diaclone release. Since it's not, let's just put this Matrix of Leadership from my Reveal the Shield Battle in Space set in there. Since this die-cast Matrix was actually engineered for this mold anyway. Onto the trailer. Not much to say in this mode, being a box on wheels and all. It's got some nice molded details, and the back does open to reveal a ramp that cars can use. It's also got holes in it so that you can stick the combat drone, which would also be Diaclone piloted on Battle Convoy, through the top or front of the trailer. But we'll get to that when we open it. Finally, the trailer's spring-loaded launching gimmick can be utilized in this mode. Merely open the back, press this tab, and Roller comes shooting out of the trailer at high speeds. If Roller wants the day off, many of the Diaclone mold Autobot cars also work with this gimmick. Like Stepper here. Transformation of the cab to robot mode is simplicity and functionality at their best, going quickly and easily from solid-looking truck to solid-looking robot. Simply fold the forearms out, open the back to bring the arms the rest of the way out, fold the legs down, fold the toes up, peg the fists in, and flip the head up. Now we've got Prime in his robot mode. Looking every bit as iconic as his cartoon character model, while looking very little like his character model, Optimus is a sight to behold. The details present in his truck mode carry over to the robot mode, and his chest can still open, revealing in this case the Matrix that I mentioned earlier. The one thing that the robot mode does add to the mix of details is some stickered details. Stickers were a staple of G1, and as a child I both loved and feared applying these things. Being the Encore reissue, the formerly stickerific Autobot logos on his shoulders are now stamped on detail. It's not that much of a problem to me, however, since the stickers never really stuck to these rivet details anyway. Another major difference from the original is the hands. This extra ring of plastic was added somewhere around that reissue from 2000. This is supposed to allow him to hold his rifle better, but look at that, it's silly. If you wanted him to hold his rifle better, perhaps you might consider turning this handle into a peg, so that he can actually hold it by the handle. At any rate, aside from the gun, you can outfit him with this fuel nozzle thing. Yes, I'd like to know why as well. Back to the trailer, we've got the last pile of gimmickry to throw at you. The trailer for Optimus has a second mode, the aptly named Combat Deck. Changing from trailer to combat deck is easy. Swing these stabilizers out, fold the ramp down, and split the trailer lengthwise. Here's the combat deck. There are a few molded details in the combat deck, mostly these spots, which would originally have been stations for more Diaclone drivers. The aforementioned repair/diagnostic/combat drone, and Roller's launch catapult. There's also some pegs on the deck for Prime's gun, or the fuel thing, if you want to, store them here. The rest of the detail is made up of some rather interesting stickers. Like this one, where Prime apparently keeps his AED, whatever that is, and his porn. Over on the other side, we have graphs and grids and what I assume is some kind of hatch. It's marked in. There's nothing on here marked out. Try not to go in there. The walls are lined with more stickers, like this map of a solar system. These diagnostic readouts. These circles. This diagram of something. This thing. A multicolored computer checkerboard. A robot weapons loadout? And this map of Federation outposts along the Romulan neutral zone. No, I'm not kidding. It even identifies the location of Romulus, the Romulan homeworld. And apparently Outpost 10 is okay. That's good to know. Over here we have Roller, who we'll finally look at. Roller is a fairly simple six-wheeled buggy with stickers for headlights, seating for 4 non-existent pilots, and a peg hole for either Prime's rifle or that fuel thing. He connects to his launch catapult by way of these 2 posts right here, and launches at the push of a button. The drone is the main draw of the combat deck, being the only really combat-oriented part of it and all. And it can move around on this multi-hinged arm. Swivels 360 degrees. Features a radar array. OMG, it spins. A grabby claw that is on what is probably one of the first ball joints on a Transformers toy ever. An opening cockpit, for no one in particular. Or Darth Vader. And missiles, which launch directly at the camera. As previously mentioned, the drone can be positioned to stick out of either the front or the top of the trailer when it's in trailer mode. Prime himself doesn't get a lot of interactivity with his combat deck, other than standing on top of it with his rifle out to join it in combat. Finally, the third mode for the trailer. Keeping it in combat deck configuration, stand it on its end. Like this. Position the drone accordingly, and stand a damaged robot here to be repaired or diagnosed. So that's Generation 1 Optimus. All in all, a great figure that still has a lot of cool stuff to him. While he lacks the posability of modern-day figures, he more than makes up for it by being the first hero of the franchise. I've said it before and I'll say it again, I don't think a single Transformers collection should be without some version of G1 Prime, even if only to show how far we've come since then. I'm out for now, so we'll see y'all next time.